This lesson is going to be on using variables and algebraic symbols to represent unknowns. So here we're often presented with expressions with constants and variables, and then given specific values for those variables. So we're going to introduce the concept of a variable. So let's look at this first launch. A pizza costs $12 plus $1.50 for each topping. How much would you pay for pizza with? And then I've given you 3 toppings, 5 toppings, and then T toppings. So let's start this off with 3 toppings. So how much would this pizza cost for 3 toppings? Now, not only do I want you to find out how much it costs, but I want you to write down how'd you figure that out. And that's going to help lead us to the ultimate question, that C part, is writing it with T toppings. So for 3 toppings, how can we figure this out? Well, it's $12 plus $1.50 for each topping. So ours is $1.50 times 3. And I'll use parentheses for 3. And that's going to give me my total. So in the calculator, we can push 12 plus 1.5 times 3, and you'll end up getting $16.50. Now, what about 5 toppings? So 5 toppings, very similar. 12 plus 1.5 times 5. You do the math on that, you're going to get $19.50. Now, if you're using a calculator, the calculator should know the order of operations. So when you put this in, it's going to know I have to multiply before I add. Now, if you have an older calculator, you may actually have to do the order of operations yourself. So you'd put 1.5 times 5, get that number, and then add it to 12. So do we see a pattern here? We should. We're putting the number of toppings right here, this sort of unknown value. So what we're going to do is, for part C, can you write a formula for T toppings? I sure can. 12, that's my constant, plus 1.5 times T, and that's just the answer. So notice I don't generally use, once we start doing more algebra, we begin to not use the X for multiplication for obvious reasons. It looks like a letter. It's hard for us to differentiate that. Okay, I'll sometimes use a dot for emphasis, like I can do that there. And again, this is the final answer. I don't get an actual number because my question was a formula for T toppings. So this is a variable. It stands for the number of toppings. And what we're going to see as we move on through is that you're going to get good at working with variables, working with unknowns. You're often given values for those unknowns to plug in, or in a later lesson, you'll be asked to solve for that unknown.